folks, and welcome to ZSR. We have got another hot race for you tonight. Oh my goodness, I am super excited for this one. We have got V0oid versus Andy. Andy is the person who got me interested in speedrunning back 7 years ago, so I'm really happy to be here, even tangentially related to the conducting of this race. We've got Fricker and Apathy Duck here to provide wonderful, insightful commentary because I can't do that for you for this game. I will leave it in their capable hands.
Yo, thanks very much. How are you doing, Fricker?
I am doing fantastic. Super excited for this game.
Yeah, this should be a really good one. As we said, Andy, one of the great speedrunners of this game, obviously plays a lot of rando. V0oid, world record holder in, I believe, all the Donkey Kong countries right now. 1, 2, and 3 for at least the main categories. So just really top tier speedrunner in general. Putting a lot of good time in this. He's cut me in this game now too, so you know that's great. But he's been doing really well in this. Their PBs are just about a minute apart now, and he's the newest member of the 124 club. So yeah, should be a really good one.
Yeah, I totally agree. Both runners are just legendary for their speed games, but yeah, Andy with the new PB and V0oid has also a new PB, I believe down to a 125.29. That's not quite on SRC yet, but V0oid's been just handling this game very well and dropping a couple PBs in the last few weeks, so this should be a really good watch.
Yeah, I think the one thing that Andy always kind of punched above his weight a little bit in these because just the thing that amount of randomizer he plays really teaches like how to deal with oddball scenarios. So like his recovery in a lot of situations is really good. So he's unlikely usually to lose a lot of time. Oh, we're wearing the same shirt today too. That's nice.
Very precious.
Well, mine says runner on it though. I don't think his does. So
the legendary Duck.
But yeah, just like I said, there's like situations I've seen Andy in where it's just like I would die if that happened to me, and he just gets out of only losing a couple seconds. So it's really strong tournament runner. Obviously, you know, he's been speedrunning this game for forever. It's just mostly plays rando now. So, but when he does come, you know, he came back for the 80 tournament. Is in this one, so I expect a really strong performance by him. And like he like his PB was like definitely worse than what he was, but he finally got the 124, pretty good one, a 124.37. So definitely a lot more indicative of his skill level. So, but yeah, I mean, I think I give the advantage to Andy to this one still. Just, you know, this is his main game, whereas this is kind of V0oid's. I wouldn't even say side project. He just basically came back for this tournament. But you know, like there's something to be said. Like V0oid is such a world-class speedrunner that there's just something to be said for like, you know, just being comfortable with the controller, knowing how to use it, and then just like all the skills and habits that he's built up. You know, becoming the world-class in Donkey Kong Country. All that stuff's going to immediately transfer over to this game. Like he had a 126 that was like a couple years old before this tournament started, and he was able to hop right back in, and you know, he was down to that mid 125 level. So yeah, I mean, this is going to come down to, like I said, Andy's probably the favorite here, definitely the favorite here. But you know, just if Andy makes any sort of, you know, major-ish mistake, it could really swing the race here.
For sure, and just like what Duck was saying, I mean, both of these runners, you know, they could take some time away from NMG. Obviously, Andy plays a lot of rando, but more specifically, V0oid just coming back out of nowhere too. That, man, if I take 1 or 2 days off of this game, I am just terrible and super rusty. So these two are so good at this game.
Yeah, I remember coming in this tournament, I was like, oh, good, V0oid joined. I'm not going to be the rustiest person. And then he cuts me, and I haven't even gotten a 125 again since coming back. So, like I said,
yeah, for sure.
Really, like, that just speaks to his talent in general. Like, I think you see, I was thinking about this a little bit before, you see more like, kind of like, you know, the runners like Cool Kid and Arcus and all them. It was like more in the NES community where they just like are so good at so many games. You see that a little bit less in the SNES area. I think maybe because the SNES games tend to be a little bit longer. All those NES games are like 10 minutes, so you can kind of turn out a couple. But I mean, you know, this and like, I mean, there's 3 Donkey Kong countries. He's got world record in all of them, so you know, and they all have their little intricacies. So yeah, just I think just overall talent level as a speedrunner really shows in this.
Yeah,
they really need to get
completely
something else to talk about besides just general platitudes.
Yeah, well, more specifically on this tournament game, I believe this is the 6th bracket round in their particular bracket, and I know the winner of this match is going to play Aerie, which is a very, very tough battle, and I believe the loser goes down to play Lanxion.
Each less tough battle.
Yeah.
that's more of a compliment to Aerie than an insult to Lynx, but it's a little. I will admit it's a little of both.
Yeah, but more specifically, I mean, both of our runners just going through escape here. Pretty straightforward. Rescuing the princess, getting some keys. We're going to be hitting the back of escape very shortly here, and basically all it comes down to is just quick RNG reaction to the enemies, trying to not lose too many hearts. We see that Andy did get hit by ball and chain. Down 1 heart. I doubt that's going to be a factor for Andy skipping Saint Cart, which he usually does, but we'll see what happens.
He's been skipping in the tournament?
I believe, yes, Andy has been skipping Saint Cart.
That's yeah. I mean, it's, you know, again, like I said, he plays this game so much, he's very confident in anything, but it's just like, it's 4 seconds. Like, are you really gonna lose? There's very few matches that come down to that 4 seconds, and it gives you so much safety. But yeah, it depends. I mean, the other thing with Saint Cart is if you do skip it, like you really need the 3 hearts going into Eastern. So by skipping it, he's going to waste some time by picking up a heart. There is the first one in Eastern is really quick to get. It's only like 5 frames or something, so that's not big of a deal. But if he loses more health, at that point you're getting to the point where it's such a little time save. You're probably just better off getting it. So
for sure.
Yeah, even if he's normally skipping it, if he does get hit by anything else, I wouldn't be surprised if he just goes ahead and grabs it, because it just saves so little at that point.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously the Eastern Palace Overworld can be a little risky on, you know, a heart or a half a heart, but I think with the ability both these runners have, it's not too much to worry about.
Yeah, well, again, if you're down to like half a heart, it's just you're going to need to pick up so many hearts. It's just the big thing about things, it gives you the refill. So I think most people who do skip Saint Cart, like if they do have a bad escape, they'll just go ahead and grab it because it's just not saving time at that point.
Yeah, and looks like V0oid got a very good RNG for the key rat, while Andy's was top left or Seattle key rat, so it lost him a little bit of time in that room.
Yeah, V0oid with the early lead. Not really surprised. Again, you know, escape, all this little stuff can happen to you. V0oid's had a pretty good Eastern here. Jeez, that is.
Yeah.
Okay, that is a 549. Holy
yeah, very good.
shit. Yeah, that's a very good. I mean, if Andy had a 555, that's kind of. I always joke that I'd much rather just everyone starts with a 555 and we just start Eastern, because like that seems to be like just like the worst case scenario for most people. Just like, just give me that and let me play the rest of the game. It's fine. This
is actually really good for V0oid that he had such a good escape, because he can get the Saint Cart now and be a little bit ahead still, because I'm pretty sure Andy's going to skip it, so it gave him a little bit of a buffer there.
Yeah, I mean, again, it doesn't matter. Like, we're talking about second. One blue ball is going to change all of that. But yeah, 549. Man, I'm a little jealous. But yeah, just shows V0oid. Like, he's not sitting and. I mean, he's been grinding it recently, but like he hasn't been like sitting here grinding this for years. And 549 is what a lot of people strive for a long time. So that is a really amazing time there.
Yeah, it's tough to get escape down that low. It really comes down to just really good movement and RNG reaction.
Anyways, I think I've said enough nice things about Andy now. I can start being mean to him. So.
Well, that's what I was waiting for.
Yeah, Law said that Andy is the one who got her into speedrunning, and kind of the same for me. He's definitely one of the first people I watched and made me interested in. I mean, I was always kind of interested in this game. So really, anything I do to him is his own fault. Plus, he was mean to me before the race. So.
Yeah, and Andy's been speedrunning since the Titanic era. So.
You mean like the actual Titanic in 1912?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, just checking.
All right, good Eastern Overworlds for both runners. Andy likely to pick up a few early pot hearts here in Eastern Palace.
Yeah, I mean, this is the problem with skipping sync. This first one is only 5 frames. The second one, I think, is closer to like 20-ish or something. You're really like throwing that boom. So I guess it's like 12 frames plus however long it takes to turn around and stuff, which you can do like in 2 frames if you do it optimally. So yeah, he's losing about 20 frames here. Sankart's still 40 frames. Gets that free rupee though. He only needs 2 more greens.
Can't go wrong with the free rupee. Void, on the other hand, sitting at 0 right now.
My favorite is still the one time I got my pod rupees because I got 4 green rupees.
Oh, nice!
Really impressive.
Right. So yeah, Eastern is kind of where most runners want to get a handful of early rupees to get ready for what they need. 110 for Dark World. So both of them were gonna try to get the prize pack drop of the red rupee. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, the 2 main breakpoints you're looking for is 4 is the absolute minimum, and then getting 4 blue rupees is pretty slow. So most players want at least 9, and then there's still marginal improvements above that, but you're really looking for 9. There is a pot rupee in Desert that you can pick up. Most players are getting that if they're under 9, but that's like 20-ish frames to pick up, I think. So hopefully you can just get the 9 here. The main thing we're looking for is the red rupee, and we'll have a chance. We spin 6 popos at the end, and hopefully 2 of those will end up in our path. So with both of them sitting at 5 and 7 here, like just a blue rupee in their path from even one of them will get them exactly what they need. But once you have 4, you're really not too worried about it, because if you end up having 0, there is a rupee you can get in Agatara. That one's really slow.
Both looking good, going through Gifted with Greenies. The last few rooms here before the Armos boss is kind of the time loss crunch of this palace, if you will. There's a lot of RNG that can happen. It's called Zelda Gamer Room. It can go south very quickly, so we'll see what kind of RNG they both get.
Yeah, I mean, even that cannonball room, there's some RNG there. Void had to wait out those cannonballs to get to the door. I've said it before, these 2 rooms honestly are in the top 10 hardest in the entire game to do optimally, I think.
Yep, and both runners getting the arrow drop on the last Igor, so sitting good on arrows.
Andy did get that blue rupee though, so he's got the 13 Voids. We'll see if Void picks up that blue rupee in Desert. That might be, again, this not being his main game, that might be one of the little minor things he might not know, so we'll see if he grabs that or not. But I mean, in general, I'm looking forward to some interesting strats here. Like you said, Andy's got the old boy strats. You might see some older stuff here, just because like a lot of the newer stuff is like just frame saving or stuff, and he's been doing it for so long, he just doesn't bother need to updating it. And then again, Void hasn't really seriously played for a couple. I don't know how much like refreshing he did. The last match I did of his, I didn't see anything too bananas out of him, so might see a couple interesting things here.
Yeah, for sure. All right, one of the hardest spin speeds coming out of Sash House here. It's always tough to get that first one, and then when you get it, most of them usually follow after that, but when you miss spin speed, man, you just seem to miss everyone that comes up. That is correct. It is only hard if you go right side, Duck. But I think last time I saw you go right side, you didn't get hit, so technically it is faster.
Well, I just forgot which way to go when I came back, and I was like, I remember this being a lot easier, and so I sat there and practiced it for like 2 hours. I'm like, I remember this being easier, but I guess I got it now. So, and then like I think Dow was like, Duck, why are you going to the right side?
Both runners getting first try library spin speed. It's always a plus. Saving some frames. Andy having a little trouble getting into the library.
Man, if you told me Void was going to be several seconds ahead with Andy skipping Sankart in Desert, I don't think I would have believed you. But
yeah, that's pretty crazy to see.
Yeah, I mean, 10:50 Eastern, like that's better than my best Eastern too. So Void is just crushing it right now. Granted, I feel like escaping Eastern is basically like just do your basic movement really good and you'll be fine. Again, something that like Void is going to be very comfortable with. Like he obviously knows the mechanics of this game and just basic dexterity is going to get you through that. Get good times like that. Desert's really when you start entering the gauntlet of owing to the past year, and you can see Andy's catching up here in this overworld.
Yeah, just slightly behind Void. Andy having a very crispy overworld. Really just comes down to a lot of movement, especially after getting the boots and maximizing your dashes and just knowing how to extend them and just really helping out your movement quite a bit. Surprisingly enough, overworld is really where you can lose time between dungeons. Alright, both runners entering Desert Palace. Pretty straightforward dungeon, a lot of long hallways and corridors, and basically what the runners are going to be doing is just grabbing as many arrows as they possibly can throughout here to get ready for the Landmola's boss. And as they do that, they're grabbing some keys, grabbing the big chest, and heading over to the boss.
Yeah, we can see there one of those things I was talking about on Void, where you just kind of dashed up and then dashed into the torch. You see most people just, I think Andy did like kind of like the modern way, where you go to the right and then dash across. You can also go to the left, but it's only like saving like a frame or something, and it's pretty tough to do.
Yeah.
Void with the excellent cannonball RNG, Andy having to stop, does read it correctly. And then Andy, yeah, coming way down there to dash back out. On that RNG, you can like come, I think, just like the very bottom of the carpet, and you should be safe to dash. But he played it a little bit safer there.
Andy grabbing that rupee that Duck was talking about earlier. Or, I'm sorry, Void grabbing the rupee since he was down a little bit.
Yeah, like I said, going up to 9, I think it's definitely worth it. That 4th rupee on the tree pole is just terrible. So
yeah, for sure, you get so much lag on that tree pole too.
Yeah, we'll see how brave Void is feeling here if he wants to go for this spin speed. He is going to go for it, and does get it. Very nice. And he's going to go for it as well. Interesting. Like they both came. Do you like? I diagonal off of that. Do you go straight?
I hold diagonal out of the menu buffer for sure.
Yeah, I think you have a little bit more runway if you go straight. Then it's just you're losing a couple frames.
Seems a little risky, not holding diagonal there, but pulling it off.
Yeah. And Void, this is one thing. Let's see what Andy does. Yeah, Andy's kind of gone to the. I think this is a user strat where you go down now. Void going with the kind of like the older strat there. It does get bot from it. The way Andy did it should be 100% safe. It's really made that. There was like 4 or 5 different ways of doing that run beforehand, and then like that kind of user method is just kind of taken over for everyone.
Yeah, really surprised to see Andy do an updated strat.
Yeah, there's some stuff. That one even Emo taught it to me, so it did manage its way to get into the rando community. So.
It looks like a good first phase for both runners. Andy kind of getting a short hop at the end there.
Yeah, this is where I would expect Void to struggle a little bit. This fight is so... You can't just, like, rest on your general skill level in this fight. This fight is very, very complicated.
Very close. I want to say both were a 4 cycle, early 4.
Yeah, something like that. Neither of them were... They ended up being pretty much exactly the same distances they came in on. So, I think it was 2 4 cycles.
I mean, yeah, honestly, I would take a 4 cycle in a tournament.
A 4. I mean, it's nothing to sneeze at. You could see. I was mostly watching Voids. You saw him, maybe miss a couple shots that maybe should have landed. But again, like that's the one fight that is just like you have to put so much time into that. And with Void not being a Link to the Past main, I really don't expect him to be putting that much time into it. But it's just an insane fight to do consistently well.
Yeah, definitely very tough. And I don't know if y'all saw it, but outside of Desert, Andy hitting the cactus dash.
Oh, Lord.
Gotta save those frames.
Frame. Singular.
Gotta save the frame.
Literal 1 frame.
Well, Andy having a little trouble with fake flippers.
Yeah, the one thing that does do, like, definitely doesn't want to do it, and he's not really going to miss this anyways. If you do come, because the reason the soft lock happens is because you're not on the same screen and it doesn't know where to put you back. If you do it on that side, it will prevent the soft lock from happening. But you know, that's not really something that's going to happen to Andy very often. So it just ends up losing the time.
Yeah, for sure. And I think Greenham was saying that Andy got a bad pixel boost. Usually, if you don't go down all the way where you're supposed to, the slope dashes in this game are just really funky, and they can pixel boost you higher than where you want to be. So a little trouble with that, but Andy got through it well.
I'm pretty sure that tidbit is actually in the Andy tutorial, so
Yeah.
he must have just misread it or something.
The irony.
Yeah, all the newcomers now have the blessed FMG tutorial to go over, so we no longer have to stare at thighs for 12 hours while people are just yelling in the background. Oh man, the new kids have it so great.
Yeah, they're all spoiled. Jeez.
Oops, I did it wrong. Let me go back 15 segments and just, you know, not bother editing this afterwards. Anyways.
Yeah. Nice avoid that he recognized the squirrel there and stopped his dash after the hit.
Yeah, that's one that you're more often than not just gonna face plant into and then lose any more time. I thought that it was gonna be right in the middle and be able to get around it actually. So, pretty nice job. I think we might. Yeah, we're gonna see a double boom dash match. That is.
Oh baby.
Yeah, and he doesn't even do a boom dash. He just goes straight up. And Void does get the boom dash on the peg. It looks like he over. It looked like he had it and then walked off of them. As far as timing, this doesn't matter. He's gonna save the time here. He just doesn't get the nice little coffee break. Let's see if Annie can get it, or he may just be playing it a little safe.
Yeah,
There he goes for it.
Huge difference in health here. I mean, Andy's down to 1 heart right now, while Void is sitting on full health.
Yeah, he must have had a rough climb. I didn't quite see what happened to him. He does have the option of taking a death warp here. The problem is, like, he needs at least 1 heart for the bomb jump. Really, the only place you can get that is in the bottom of Petting Zoom, past the 2 Moldorms. And those 2, like, if they don't give you a very good pattern, they can just waste the time that you're saving by not taking the death warp here.
Yeah, for sure.
It's
so
that they can just kill you.
That heart.
Yeah, it looks like he is just going to go for it. Again, this is just, you know, Andy's confident with what he's doing. It does have to get that heart, but it's like, it's one of those things, I don't care how confident you are. It's like sometimes the Moldorms are just in your way, and like, even if they're not going to kill you, like, they just might be in a really bad position where you have to take it slow and kill them. Get around. Oh,
the heart.
That is the worst enemy, because like by the time that spawns, you're basically already in the door. So like, even if it's something like arrows or something like you're willing to go back for, you've kind of already passed them. Oh, Andy is hitting the switch here. Kind of interesting.
That beetle door just sucks you in too, super quick.
Yeah. Okay. He did get a good petting zoo there. Was able to get that heart I'm talking about. Almost a little surprised if he's, you know, willing to do that. I'm almost a little surprised he's willing to take that. I mean, Moldorm can always hit you. Honestly, I'm more worried about getting to those hearts than refilling on them once I'm actually there. I'm more scared of the petting zoo room than I am of Moldorm generally.
Ooh, Void taking an initial bop on the way off the cliff there.
Yeah, Andy just picking up 2 hearts. Honestly, I suggest even for like beginner players, don't bother like filling up to like 5 here, because like, if your fight's going to go that poorly, at some point Moldorm's probably just going to hit you off. You're unlikely to get hit by Moldorm 4 or 5 times and not fall off on any of those. So just grab a couple and go into the fight. You really don't need all 5. You can just come back down and get more if you do fall down.
Yeah, Void had a really nice Moldorm fight, and Andy handled it well. So, still got a game here.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, Andy's a couple seconds behind here. Andy's still coming in with like a 22, like 45-ish, maybe a little bit slower Hera. Yeah, 45. That's still really good Hera time. It's just Void is Void again is just having an amazing light roll. 2232 Hera time is really really good. Really, I think the only blip on his light roll whatsoever is it was a 4-cycle landmail, which is, I mean, that's barely a blip. Like,
yeah, for sure. 4-cycle is still really dang good.
yeah, 4-cycle is like one of those like for this kind of range is like the worst you want that's reasonable type of thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a 4-cycle Aga 2, right? It's like you're not happy about it, but it's like it happens, and a lot of times there's nothing you can do about it. So
Andy arrowing Dill Pickle. $23.42 Master Sword pull from Void. Pretty darn good.
yeah, that's a really good time.
Still sub 24 for Andy as well too, which is still 124 pace. So very very good light world so far.
Yeah, these are really really good light roll times.
And then we have Aghanim's Tower and then Aghanim, which usually destroys that.
Yeah, I mean, I think Void's kind of used to being like the 100. I think he might have has played the most 124 runners in this tournament. So because he played Yoho twice. He's now playing Andy. Like he's just been up against like
that. That's crazy.
Yeah, and he's just played like 124, and he's been in I think both of the group matches with you and Yoho. He was in. He beat Yoho to get here, and now he's winning against Andy. So just very very well done from Void so far.
Void's a gamer. But usually, regardless of the bad luck or anything that happens on Andy's side too, he just continues to play well and catch up. So,
yeah, like I said, Andy's just like he's played this game for so long, and one of the thing about his strats is like he's just been using them for so long, even if they are a little old in some places. He's just so consistent at them, and then, like I said, just all the random experiences. Like he's been in such stupid situations, like nothing's really going to throw him off, where it's like I'm just going to try to face tank my way out of stuff because all I know is how to do the strat, and that a lot of times ends up in death. So like anyone can die, obviously, like Cold Stairs killed plenty of people. Cold Stairs killed 124 paces for Andy's I've seen before, so it can always happen, but like I think the main thing of Andy is you're not going to see him losing. A lot of times you'll see people like lose like 10 to 20 seconds in a room sometimes. And like Andy might lose time, but it might be more like the 5 to 10 range. It just makes it really consistent overall, especially for tournaments.
Yeah,
okay, that's
sure.
the last nice thing I'm going to say. He really needs to make more mistakes. I don't know.
Yeah, and both runners preserving the Fairy prize pack for Turtle Rock. But unfortunately, both losing beams, which might lose them a little bit of time in a few of the rooms coming up. Luckily, they have a decent supply of arrows. Yeah, that double guard spear room is always a pain to get through without beams. Actually, same for all three of these rooms.
Oh yeah, Void booming the one guard a little too far in, but it's kind of interesting. He slashed the guard out of the way to kind of recover from it. That was a really nice recovery. Andy showing off a little bit more of the standard way, booming the guard out of the way and then throwing the pot down. All right, so since Andy is trailing here and he is the luckiest boy on the planet, expect like one blue ball from him, and then Void's gonna get like 8.
Well, it has been throughout the tournament that the runner that is typically behind at this point gets more blue balls. So we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, but Andy's got the plot armor.
It's Andy, yeah.
I feel like Andy's like worst blue ball ever is like 4.
Imagine never seeing double digits for blue balls. Zero.
See, I don't have, my luck isn't like, I don't get like the tail ends. I don't really get like the 10s or 11s. I just 6 every time. It's like clockwork.
Right in the middle.
I'd rather have the 0s and the 11s, you know, just because like 6 is as dead as 11, you know. So I think my luck is actually the worst case scenario.
All right, I think I've seen one blue ball on both player screens.
Yeah, I only saw one on both. I don't know if there was another one on either one though. I don't really count. I just kind of go by you can tell by the lightning cycles usually.
Looks like both runners are going to get... Oh, Void got 2. Andy with 2.
Oh, Void just with 2.
See if Andy wins the 50-50 here. Oh,
Yeah.
snap. Both runners with 2. That's really what you want to see in such a close game. That's awesome.
Yeah, so just no RNG is going to matter so far for here. Dark World's got a lot of RNG, but it's a lot of like minor RNG. So like the RNG in Dark World, I feel like generally is more dealable than in Light World. And it's just you know, like if this happens, do this type of stuff. It's very like flowcharty. So you might be losing 10 or 15 frames because of RNG, but it's generally not going to kill you, unlike a Death Mountain trip. I mean, obviously we have to go back up Death Mountain, but it's a little bit easier the second time around, especially if we do it with hookshot. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how much Void can keep this lead. Just again, there's so many variations. Him not being a length of pass main, we might see that come up a little bit, but he's been playing very consistently. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and typically early Dark World's not too bad. Like early to mid Dark World's not too bad, but yeah, Pod can wreck you just because you're a little bit low on hearts, and Helmasaur King can be really unlucky for you and hit like a truck. So
yeah, I mean, Pod's just got a lot of Pod is theoretically consistent. You know, everyone's had a really good Light World like these runners just had, and it got ruined by Pod. Just because you made a really simple mistake. You have Hammer Jump in there, Turtle Room, you know, you can just have the one turtle kind of fuck off to the bottom and just, you know, ruin your day. And then you have Helma, you know, there's just there's so much little stuff, and all of it's controllable, more or less, except for the bad turtle RNG, but that's only going to lose you like a second or two, honestly. It's not that terrible. But yeah, there's just so much in Pod. It's a very difficult dungeon. It's a good start to Dark World. Again, kind of sets up the theme of it, where there's like some hard things in the dungeon, but technically it's all under your control. So you have no one really to blame but yourself, besides a couple minor things. This berry can be really annoying. All 3 times we have to go over there.
yeah, he always seems to go right.
Yeah, there we go from the old boy strats there, dashing to the right and then dashing up. I didn't even know that was a strat that you could do. I mean, I guess technically you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, and then just with the spin speed tech on Helmasaur, it definitely becomes a lot more controllable, and you can play it a little bit more aggressively.
Yeah, before there was kind of like the some people preferred the sword out, some people, like I think Zelda even sorted out. So it was mostly a preference thing, whether you wanted the extended range versus the more maneuverability. Now you kind of have the best of both worlds. So pretty much everyone goes for the spin speed. There's a couple, I won't really say downsides, but things you have to get used to with it. But once you've started doing it, it's definitely the superior way to go. And of course, it's a spin speed, right? So you can just miss it.
Yep, been down that road a few times.
Yeah.
We'll see how Hammer Yump goes.
Looks like Void's a little low on that. Gets it on the one pause there.
Yeah, very good. I think it was
Uses
just
the
one.
sword to adjust. Yeah, very good.
Nice.
I think Andy had 0. Oh, but he misses it. Yeah, I didn't see where he ended up, but like I said, Andy plays this game a lot, and yeah, I mean, this is just something that happens. It happens to every one of us. It's happened to me plenty of times the last couple of weeks. I'm sure it's happened to you recently. You know, it's just unfortunate.
Yeah, I think Andy hit the spot the second time around, just completely spaced on placing a bomb out.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. But he at some point he recognized he just took too much time and kind of wisely just bailed on it instead of wasting another bomb. So he has one bomb down. I don't.
And the heart down. He won't have beams.
Yeah, but it's. I don't really think. I mean, you know, 2-hit Helmet can kill anyone. Oh, Void's not gonna have beams either now. Honestly, in this situation, I'm a little bit more nervous for Void than for Andy. Again, this fight was, this level of hearts is completely standard for like AD last year, so Andy's done this fight plenty of times. Even it has the master sword here, although with spin speed, generally you don't do the spin, but you still have that as a backup. So a little bit dangerous for both runners. Even though Andy's 1 heart down, it really doesn't matter because Helmet does 2 hearts of damage per hit, so they're effectively on the same amount of life here. Just the only thing for Andy's situation, you can get hit by a turtle or something, which will take you down to 4, which would be really bad. That'd only be a 1 hit that Andy could take on Helmet before he's in Oko territory.
Good turtle party RNG on Void's side. Curious if Andy is going to do any kind of swag boom to hit this switch coming through here.
Good old swag boom.
Looks like it. Oh.
See, this is why I'm not going to say anything nice about him anymore, because you missed swag boom.
It's all downhill from here.
Yeah. Yeah, you see there, Void missing the spin speed. Just opts to go for it again. If you do miss the first one, it's... You can just kind of bail on it. Just every time you recharge that sword back up, you're losing time. The one thing is, if you've gotten used to doing it this way, you might as well go for it. And Void does finish out very nicely. The other issue is if you're in that spin speed state, if you do let the fight get away from you a little bit like that, Helmet can come all the way down to the bottom. And because you don't have your sword out, you can't do the horizontal into him anymore, and you kind of have to cancel it, which is like one of the few downsides to the spin speed strat.
Andy getting through very nicely as well. It kind of looked like Andy had a little trouble hitting the spin speed right away, just like Void did, but getting through it nicely.
Yeah, so far the story of this match is the player who hasn't made any mistakes so far has been Void, which is that, I mean, I say surprising. It's not like I'm shocked that Void's doing it, but again, Andy's just very consistent. So Void is making Andy pay for these mistakes. So is in really good shape. Almost the whole cutscene ahead, coming in a pod here.
Getting through some of these dashes. There's literally like 3 lotteries in this overworld. It's super annoying.
Yeah, but they're pretty... All of them are fairly rare. And then you have, on top of the lotteries, you have... you can get hit by the pterodactyl pretty easily, and then if you bonk, you get hit by the vine. Yeah, there's the bird.
There it is.
Yeah, that's pretty unfortunate. Ooh, and that was a very late cancel. Getting hit by both is... I mean, technically, like, after this point, nothing should hit you. There's a couple RNG things in Thieves Town. The first Zizak in the first room can kind of be in your way. Hellway could just be giving you an absolute awful pattern, and then there's like the Patrick Star room. There's a couple patterns where you might get hit, and then in the prison, the Zizak might hit you flame up. But like all those are, you don't want to be 2 hearts, just because any of those can happen, and it can just straight up kill you. There's even some rare cricket patterns that will just like hit you as like they'll be crossing down as you're hitting the screen transition, and they'll just hit you, which is just super fun.
Yeah, that's super annoying as well. Frame rule you right in the doorway. Two very high talks from both runners. Very impressive.
We have potentially the last spin speed coming up if neither do the blank spin speed. I think Andy finally actually switched to blank strat? He was doing the other way for the longest time.
Interesting that Void hit the flute on the southern side of the statue.
Yeah, that's one of those things that's like... It's a very minor thing. You generally see people walk up to the left and do the flute dash. This is one of the screens that you just assume you know how to do it, so you don't bother looking it up. And it's like this. It's like, well, if you're a little bit to the left, the bird flies off slightly quicker, and blah blah. Like all these like minor things for like 2 frames. It doesn't really matter, but just probably a little knowledge hole from there. You can see, Andy doing kind of more what we expect. Moving up to the left here. I'm not sure if he went for the flute dash or not, but we'll just dash to the left right after this cutscene.
Yeah, Void getting bopped on a 3 Musketeer screen. That screen has very tight dashes. Looks like Void's going to get 3-minute enter time for Thief's Town. Still pretty good. Sub 3 is really good, but still very good overworld from Void.
Yeah, Void, that first that jump right down there, that's one of the ones he can just kind of be in your way, and there's not all that much you can do about it. So he does avoid that one. Probably, we'll see how his Hellway is, but if he gets out of Hellway without taking even like 2 hearts of damage, he should be fine for the rest of the dungeon.
Yeah, it's just the Patrick Star room, and then the room after, which is Hellway, which probably the 2 worst rooms in Thief's Town. Everything after that's pretty simple.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's a couple rooms where it's rare for you to take damage from just RNG, but it can happen. Like I said, the prison can happen to you, and when you come back to that Patrick Star room, or the top one with the 2 Zyzaks, sometimes just things are in your way. The Zyzak shoots up at you, and you can't really do much about it.
Yeah, for sure.
So we'll see how this does get the good RNG power, gets the pixel, and wow, perfect. I think you got a little lag there, but I mean, there's nothing you can control. But at least execution-wise, that was perfectly done. Like, it's stuff like that, where it's like, again, this isn't Void's main game, but like, it's very natural to him, because it's just, hit the button on the frame. And once you learn how to do that, like, he's very good at that from the Donkey games. So, not really surprising to see him have a great Hellway. And he hits it too, but does just get RNG'd away. Recovers very nicely. They only lost a little time there, though.
Yeah, that was very good dash correction from Andy.
Yeah, I mean, even that requires the room playing nice with you, because they can just go into awful locations. You just end up having to walk through the damn thing, and it's just hell. Yeah, Void's got a nice comfortable lead here.
Yeah, Andy had a very nice bomb floor in the attic. The timing on the dash was very, very tight.
Yeah, a lot of times when you see a lead like this from an underdog, it's because of like blue balls or something, and then like the lead will slowly erode throughout Dark World. But Void is just playing so good right now. Andy's gonna need him to start making some mistakes here. This is a big enough gap that Andy can't just like power his way back to the lead just from superior execution. Void's gonna have to make. I mean, there's plenty of places to make mistakes. Don't get me wrong. That I'm saying like Void's likely to win or something, but yeah, Void. If Void keeps playing like this, it's gonna be very, very difficult.
Yeah, I think some of the early matches that Void had in groups too, like he was ahead most of them that he ended up unfortunately losing, but I think that's just because he was just coming back to the game. So Void has definitely tightened up so much of his gameplay. It's really good.
Yeah, I did the match with him in 1-Up, and he had such a amazing like early game and everything that he died to Vidi and still won. Just because he had such a big lead, and like 1-Up is not a slouch either. Void was just playing incredibly well, pretty much for the entire game except for dying to Vidi. Like that was literally the only mistake. And I know Void was like struggling that a little bit again with kind of shaking the rust off and everything. Where it's like, I mean, this is kind of what the game does to you. It's especially if you're rusty. It's like you can be playing well and then it just kills you, and your run's dead. So.
Yeah, looking like Void's pretty much in almost an entire cutscene ahead.
Yeah, pretty much exactly where it was at the end of Thieves. Maybe growing the lead a little bit here. Maybe not. Andy definitely made a couple more mistakes here, so I'd expect the lead to grow, but Andy seems to be sticking with him, so might just be a little bit better execution in every room, besides the mistakes. No mistakes, and just Hellway was unfortunate to Andy. I mean, that's the thing, like, even though Void's playing very well, probably on like any given screen, I'd expect Andy to maybe be saving like a frame or two. So Andy's just gonna be slowly clawing back time, and it's gonna be what the big mistakes are like.
Yeah, for sure. I know Andy will probably go for some things that Void won't. Like he'll probably hover Ice Palace Bomb Jump for sure, save a little bit of time.
Does he hover that really?
Yeah, I believe Andy hovers Ice Palace Bomb Jump like regardless. So
yeah, I know he does Mold Arm. I wasn't sure about IPBJ.
Yeah, the hover there can, I think, potentially save just about 2 seconds and a bomb. So
yeah, I mean that's pretty big. It's not like we need the bomb. Well, I guess Andy does because he messed up Hammer Jump. So does actually need the bomb. Although I guess. I don't know, I haven't really been paying attention to exact bomb routes. I tend to carry a little bit more bombs. I pick up the early bomb and pod, and I pick up both in Hammer Jump. So I have 2 going to Ice Palace Bomb Jump, just in case something happens. Basically gives me an extra bomb to blow anywhere else, and then still have a backup for IPBJ if nothing goes wrong.
Yeah, for sure. And it's not always bad to have that extra bomb too, especially like late game when you're getting into Mire, just in case something goes wrong and spooky.
Yeah, that's basically, it's like I basically pick up the extra one early, and I basically just have this extra bomb, and then if my run goes perfectly, I just don't grab one and Turtle Rock, more or less, and I save a little bit of time there, although the Turtle Rock bomb is the most efficient, but like, there's so much stuff in this game, it's like, am I really trying to trade 20 frames over, like, the course of the entire run, because it's in different segments for, just, that one bomb gives you a lot of safety, so it just seems really unworth.
Yeah, this is definitely a game of optimization. You'll do something and try to save 5 frames, and if you mess up, you lose 8 seconds.
It's a game of optimization, but like, especially like me having played like some other speedruns now, like it's amazing how much the mantra here is consistency is king more than other places.
Yep.
Like even Super Metroid, Super Metroid's a much more like technically active game as far as like all the inputs and stuff you're doing. The top runners there, like Zeus and Zenny and Behemoth and everything, are going for these like frame savers that are very technically challenging. Where it's like here, it's just because of all the RNG and everything. It's like, do you really want to throw your run away where you got a bunch of good RNG because you're trying to go for this like 2 frame savers type of thing? So we have a lot of very consistent strats here. That like honestly has to get like to the time save of like over a second for us to consider like putting risk into the strat.
And he dashing up the left side, which is technically a little bit faster, but can be troublesome at times.
And then gives it all back on the bonk.
Yeah. Gotta love those bonks.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with all this, it's like, you can save all the frames everywhere, and then you just bonk once in the run. It's like, oh, that's 70 that you just throw away. So, it's, like I said, just consistency is so valuable in this run more than others. Especially because it's especially at like the hour and a half length, and there's just so much stuff that can happen. Void doing the Joe Mummy strat. Oh no, I'm not even sure how that happened.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that happen before.
He must have like had one input to the left and then went back up or something to get over. Oh, and then misses the Mummy slash on the spike. Honestly, really the first mistakes we've seen from Void, like at all. Like,
yeah.
What else? I mean, the Force Cycle ammo, and like as much as that's a mistake. Like I will say, Void had some sloppiness on that fight that potentially could have been a 3 cycle, or maybe even a 2. But like, yeah, so few mistakes from Void. There we go, Andy not fire rodding to the left. Ooh, and gets hit by. That's a really bad mistake there from Andy, because if you do that fire rod dash, if the Moldorm comes down, all you have to do is hold up right and slash. Like it's the freest pattern on that strat. So Really just gave up time for no reason there. I think just getting a single.
Yeah, it looks like he missed that double hit.
Yeah, ooh, getting a little concerning here for Andy. Oh, no.
Moth is being a bully down to a half a heart. He's got to be very careful.
Yeah, and there we go. One of the things, Andy's still on fire. Right? Like, generally you want to be on mirror here. Something I picked up from Blaine was kind of after the third hit, or you can even kind of do it in the second hit, just kind of depending on how the fight goes. Use that to switch to the mirror, and then you can kind of use that menu time to kind of like read the room a little bit and figure out exactly where you want to go. I mean, I'd say shout outs to Sankart for Andy, but he doesn't have it, so may have wanted it there.
Yeah, it looks like Void actually may have gained a few seconds in that skull split over Andy, playing very cleanly.
Yeah, I mean, Void is on PB pace. He's 16 seconds ahead. It's almost 17. Andy is sitting at almost a plus a minute now. So basically, Andy's PB advantage is already gone. Yeah, so at this point, it's, you know, if they play to their PBs, like Andy is definitely behind at this point.
This is the Ice Palace split. It's quite a lengthy overworld as well. A lot of warps and a lot of stuff we have to do.
Oh, did Void just quick fish? Void just quick fished.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if nothing else, that shows again. Like I can skill and playing go so long. Like that shows that Void is going and looking up some of these strats, even some maybe the more memeier ones. But definitely putting the work in for this tournament.
Yeah, Andy taking a spear from a Moblin on bad RNG, so we'll see if he elects to grab the bush for the 50-50 heart.
I'm gonna let that one go.
No.
A lot of things I could say here, but I'm just gonna let it go. Yeah, that being said, we are sort of... I mean, I guess it kind of depends on what your opinion is, but to me, like, Ice is kind of the beginning of the more, like, endgame type of stuff. Like, Pod, Thieves Town, and Skull Woods, for players of this skill level, you can get them pretty consistent. You can be on pretty consistent paces up through them. And then you're just kind of hitting the gauntlet here. There's so much that can go wrong in pretty much every split down the stretch. I mean, you have, especially, the bosses here become a lot scarier. Moth is probably the first, like, real scary one. You have Helma, too. But you have Moth, you have Cold Stare, you have Vidi, which I said, like, has been a little bit of an issue for Void in this tournament so far in his practice. So a lot of, run killers that we're running into. And not only that, just a bunch of I've seen plenty of runs get thrown on Ice Palace Bomb Jump here, so a lot of places for Void to give up this lead.
For sure. It looks like Andy got the heart back by killing the enemy there. So we'll have beams for Ice too, thankfully.
Yeah. That being said, Void, not a boss-sized death, but Void does have the space to make a major mistake here and still maintain the lead.
Yeah, and what Duck was saying earlier, like, basically, Ice Palace onward, the difficulty ramps up pretty heavily, specifically since we skip half of this dungeon. We don't get the big chest, which means we don't get the upgraded tunic for Link, so staying on the green kind of has the rest of the bosses hit really hard.
Yeah, shout outs to the 80 tournament where we actually saw some people pick up the blue mail as a safety. That was my favorite safety strat there.
Yeah, you definitely don't see blue mail typically ever in this game, so...
Yeah, it was... My one quip with it there is because we did Ice Palace so late, is like, it wasn't really helping you all that much at any point, but it it was there to grab, especially for a tournament run. Kind of prevent some of the worst outcomes, but yeah, and like I said, there's just so much. I mean, Void kind of got through his Ice Palace bomb jump, no problem, without us really making a comment. And we'll see Andy's, although, like you're saying, there might not be a lot of bombs involved in Andy's. Oh, does miss the jelly there with the beam. That's kind of
I think he'll hover for sure.
Yeah, we can see him on his camera go into his hover stance. Very nicely done. Does flub the... Yeah, how much... So, does that actually save it all? Because he's still got to wait for the firebar no matter what.
Yeah, well, he chose to do the bonk, but typically when you hover, you just walk right into the firebar, and it saves about 2 seconds in that room.
Oh, okay, yeah. I think he chose because he missed his first hammer dash. I think that's why he didn't beat the firebar there. So okay, that makes sense then. Ooh, Void does have the cold stare party. Does get 2 down right there. He can't hit by the puff, but wait, did he double spin off the ice? Did you see that?
Yeah, I did. That was
That's amazing. Like, he wasn't going to get the double spin on cold stare, and then he clinked off the ice while spinning to get knocked into the puff.
Yeah, I'd have to watch that again.
Oh my god! All right, someone clip that, please. That's that's a moment right here. But yeah, definitely leaving some time on the table for Andy. If Andy can get a nice clean cold stare kill here. Jesus.
Oh, gets hit the double poke. He's got to be careful here.
Yeah.
He can take... Oh, can't take another cold stare hit.
Yeah, but he's out of... Once the first 2 kind of go down, you're kind of at it. I think if there's one thing you're known for, Fricker, it's the double spin.
Yeah, I mean, I mess it up still, too. It can be kind of tough, but... yeah, it's one of my stronger bosses, or strats for sure. I will say that the main thing on that double poke cold stare is the very last portion before you release the spin. If you don't have enough down right angle, it's not going to work well.
Nice read by Void there to realize he's going to hit the dead rock and get around it. Some of these reads by Void so far have been very, very nice. I like how we're each known for our own poke dash strat. That's nice.
Yeah.
Mine's cooler. Honestly, I think they both save the same amount of time, which is basically nothing, too.
Probably.
So yeah, with so Void, yeah, never mind. We're in Swamp, not Mire. So yeah, Void is getting Ether here. We're going to see a little bit of divergence. Andy's going to pull into an apparent lead here. I think Andy does it like I do it, which is the old boy way, which is do everything in Mire. If you do grab Ether in Swamp, pretty much everyone grabs it in Turtle Rock, Ice Run Turtle Rock now. So. We're not really going to know the state of the game definitively until we get a double landing on the Turtle Rock Death Mountain.
Yeah, grabbing the Ether Medallion is right around 40 seconds.
Yeah, and we can see... so we can see that Void's got a little bit less than a 40-second lead here, because Andy's a couple rooms ahead of him, but Void has that 40 seconds in his pocket. The funny thing, funnily enough, it's going to swing back the... No, wait, Ether's like a minute. Ice Rod's like 40 seconds. Right? Ether's definitely longer than Ice Rod.
I want to say Ice Rod is about 37 seconds or so, if done well, and I still think that Ether is right around 40.
Maybe. Maybe if you're good. Apparently I'm not.
Ether is 50, okay.
Yeah, I was about to say 40 was like Jesus. Like,
yeah.
Maybe if you clip into hair, I don't know. Like,
maybe I need to read time.
Boyne's saying reading the Ether tablet. So the whole chunk is, like I said, probably closer to a minute then.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's because like I knew Void was about a minute ahead, and he really didn't have anything go wrong on us. That math didn't quite add up to me, But yeah, in any case, we're probably going to see Andy with, or it's going to swing back the other way where Void's going to have more of an apparent lead because Andy will probably end up getting both in Meyer. Okay, are we going to argue about exactly what time you can get the ether for the rest of this match, guys?
Yeah, I guess we started the debate.
Well, actually, depending on the menus, it could be 51.5. Jesus Christ, this community sometimes.
Yeah, for those of you just tuning in or just looked away briefly, Void is still ahead. He ended up grabbing the Ether Medallion for the split, while Andy just went right to Swamp. So he still has a lead.
Once you get a sub 90 on this game, you should just get mailed a fedora in the mail.
Oh, heck yeah. Whip at 125.
Yeah, I'd say you have to get a neckbeard mail in the mail too, but we pretty much all have those already.
Yep. Yeah, not too many things going on here on the left side of Swamp. We're just going to get the big key and making our way back toward the hook shot. I don't know if I recall, but I don't think I've seen a chest turn this entire run.
Wow. Alright, well, we're done here.
Even though I think Void's file names are chest turn.
Oh, man. I didn't even see the file names. Usually that's part of the comedy here, but... Right, I'll just check that. I'll use my admin powers.
Yeah, I think it was chest turn and roll deep.
Of course. I need to like ban that from Void because the whole point of it is to have something unexpected. I think Void's that every time.
For like every opponent he's had. No, let's just go roll deep. Perfect.
Yeah, I mean we're pretty like the whole point again is just to prevent the coning. But yeah, there's been a couple times where it's like you got to be a little more creative than that because that's too obvious, guys. But I mean, especially with the where we are in the tournament, like I mean, just in general, like no one, this and the 80 tournament, like everyone's been completely above board about everything. So, you know, just kind of have to have that stuff there, just in case, just to discourage it. But I really don't expect it from anyone in this community.
Yeah, Andy's skipping
the tournament in this community. I'll say that.
He's got enough bombs and 26 arrows. Especially skipping the restock room's pretty darn good. Let's see how the Argus fight goes. Andy getting bopped out. Trying to still hit the 0 cycle. Ooh, just barely gets the 1 cycle there. Void looked like he's had a similar pattern as Andy did, right down to the wall. And it looks like he got the empty cycle, which is still pretty much a 1, so both runners similar fight.
Yeah, we can see how far these catches are. Let's see, 132 for Andy, and Void's gonna come in at 136. Yeah, so only a 5-second quote-unquote lead for Andy, but again, Void's got that minute in his pocket, so Void's pretty much maintained his lead through Swamp, losing a little time there on Argus, but I think the rest of it was just clean enough that you know, just keeping that lead up. So I mean, yeah, I mean at this point, Void is looking. I think the scariest thing probably for Void is that video fight because, like he said, he's had some issues with that. So especially you know leading in a race against a guy like Andy, I expect the Void nerves to be up for that fight.
Yeah, well, not only Void having a little trouble early on with the Vitreous fight, but it's also been a crutch for a lot of runners this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, as much as Void gets, I mean, he's been on like every GDQ, and Ken's just churning out world records. So, as much as Void is ever going to get nerves, I expect them on Vidi.
All right, Andy is going to be heading to grab the Ether, and Void's just going to be going right to Misery Mire.
Yeah, so the parent leads here are gonna swing back in Void's favor because Andy will also be grabbing Ice Rod here, so he's gonna have that in his pocket. But we can kind of normalize at least on like the torches to see approximately where they are. The funny thing is, I do what Andy does, not what Void does. But Mire becomes an incredibly consistent segment if you don't get Ether or Ice Rod on it. Pretty much all the variants in my Mire is the overworlds there. But like inside, like once you get good at Void almost getting the fast Mire too. Unfortunately, just a little slow there to beam that top whiz. So going to be losing a couple seconds there. I think it's like a 3-second cycle or something. It's not that bad, especially because like you can kind of walk towards the door while waiting for it anyways. Mire's also the dungeon that if the rando autopilot's going to kick in, it's going to kick in for Andy, getting like maybe that bridge key first or something. So hopefully he'll be able to avoid any of that.
Ooh,
Void,
nice
yeah.
reaction.
Yeah, again, that's maybe that, like I was saying at the beginning of Dark World, where there's like a bunch of like RNG you just have to be able to read and control. Andy going to Quake, that's not correct. We'll get kissed by the the pterodactyl if that happens. But yeah, like that slug pattern. Generally, we'll like go and try to slash it across. You get the free bomb too, which at this point you don't really need. More useful like an AD or something. But it's just one of those like oddball patterns that unless like you really know every single pattern in the game, might not know exactly what to do there. So just a little time loss from Void there.
And I want to say that was a 104.40 torches from Void, right around that time.
Completely forgot to look. So sure.
Yeah, I believe it was a 40. So we'll see where Andy sits once he hits the torches. Void going for Spark Gamble.
Yes, we are.
Nice.
And gets the gamble.
Sometimes I wonder why that screen's not called Fire Snake Gamble, but yeah, very good one.
Well, because you're not gambling because of the Fire Snake either screws you or it doesn't. That's not the gamble part.
Well, right, but you're kind of gambling that Fire Snake doesn't go bottom right.
I guess. I mean, I guess just skipping it is faster if the bottom Fire Snake does go bottom right, so sure. I've fully drinking the FSG Kool-Aid at that point. I don't menu to hookshot till trying to frame rule the spark. Just because it's cool.
106.09 for Andy.
Would you say it was like 10? So it's like a 2-minute lead here for Void with 40 seconds, so like a minute 20. So Void's looking real good. Oh
no, it was spooky.
Yeah, it's already dead, Void. Oh.
Good thing Void's got some bombs, but he's having a little bit of trouble getting this on the Switch and getting.
I was just saying, Void's Andy's really running out of like minute-long time losses here. This is going to be a big one because I don't think Void realizes Spooky is completely dead. No, he does not.
He does not.
Yeah. So
no.
Yeah, the second you put that block down, the incel slot has already been filled. So there's nothing you can do. He's also, like I said, Void's. Oh, it takes another hit there. Yeah, 5 hearts is really bad.
Yeah.
Void's been having a little trouble with it. You can do it with. I think both of us are comfortable like doing it on 5 hearts. You do need a very precise fight though to be able to consistently do 4 heart 4 heart Vidi fight. The flip side here is Void may just end up for a safer fight altogether here. Just lose some time, maybe do just some slashes. But Andy is going to be making up a lot of time here. Really, this is the first really big mistake from Void. Is going to dive in. Slows down. Hopefully he bails out of this.
Oh, get out of there. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Oh
No!
boy. Oh. I'm okay. I'm just
All
so
right.
nervous for Void.
Yeah, I mean, so Void has lost a pile of time here. Andy doing spooky perfectly there, leaving enough room on the block to dash by it. Yeah, this is going to be really close now once we get to this landing. Like I said, I think Void's still in the lead. He had such a big lead coming into this. But between wasting all the time in Spooky Room itself, wasting time, having to hit the switch, having to go into the bomb with Spooky. Jesus. Where's Kozer? Just dash out, forehead.
Andy taking a hit from the Medusa too.
Yeah, and he missed the dash out part, just dashing into the wall. It's okay, Ham. We can still call it the Scrivo safety video. It's still the strat name. I confirmed it with him.
Andy taking a 1 cycle, getting through it.
Yeah, I think Void still has the lead here. He's more than the cutscene ahead. This is a 46-second cutscene. It's about 40 seconds too, but he's only going to be ahead by the time they both land on Death Mountain. Okay, I thought I saw him hit 1, and I was like, you need the ice rod here, bud. Yeah, I think Void's only going to have a couple second lead here.
I think it might be more than that, but we'll see.
Yeah, it does look a little bit more than that. You're right. We'll see where it ends up being. But, like, do you only want to be 10 seconds ahead of Andy going into Turtle Rock for the end game? No. That's not... When he was a minute ahead, it was looking pretty good. This is going to be a pretty exciting finish, though. Okay, Void feet down at 9:39. Yeah, Andy's only going to be 20 seconds. He's got to do the mirror and everything. Oh, he didn't mirror to menu to mirror, mirror to menu. Jesus Christ, my brain. So it's 20 second. But yeah, that's not. I mean, just with you got to think every Aga2 cycle is 6 seconds. Every warp is 3 seconds. Just some of the RNG and I mean even just the difficulty of the Aga2 fight. Oh, nice bomb from Andy. Congrats, scammer.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even talking about Turtle Rock where, chain chomps could really lose you time, but there's got to be at least, 35 seconds or so of time variance once you get to Gauntlet 1 all the way to Ganon. There's so many different things that can happen.
Yeah, I was more just... We obviously have to go to Turtle Rock, and there's a lot of stuff in Turtle Rock. I was mostly just pointing out, the big, variant stuff that's left.
Yeah, for sure.
Void doesn't even have a comfortable lead considering that. Again, we were talking about Lamo before, Aga2 is one of the hardest fights in there. I expect Andy to have a better one than Void. Depending on RNG, it could just give him Void very nice RNG, but that's like a 500-hour fight. That's not something. Someone in the SMZ3 tourney or Discord one time was like, I put 4 hours into Aga2 and it's still hard. I'm like, yeah, just put in another 2,000. You should get it. Wow, a whole 4 hours, huh? Yeah, it's not like the rest of the bosses where it's just just do this and you'll be fine. It's no, there's so much in that fight.
Wait, you can enter T-Rock and still have beams? I didn't know that was a thing.
That's a lie. As we can see now, they've both given up those beams because it is a slight against God to have them.
I think it's been years since I've entered T-Rock with beams.
No, get out of here, Fricker.
I swear to God, dude.
No. Yeah, I've entered Turtle Rock with beams in the last 2 weeks. I refuse to believe you haven't.
I don't know, man. I get hit by everything, so...
Look who you're talking to. I have worse luck, and I'm worse at the game than you. Oh, yeah, Void. Again, that's one of the things that... This is one of the rooms... God.
Okay, we'll get through it. This is fun.
Yeah, but that's another big time chunk from Andy. I'm not sure if Void knows that the top block kind of strat there. That's kind of like the if you get bad RNG on both sides. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that. He's
gonna get good RNG right away.
Oh, good lord, Andy.
Yeah, Andy made significant time up in chain jumps room for sure.
Yeah, like I said, you do not want to be only 10 seconds ahead of Andy. I don't think you'd want to be 10 seconds ahead of Andy going into these last two segments.
Oh, for sure. And even then,
Yeah, I mean, actually, does he have a better time than you now?
Andy? Oh yeah, he's got way better time than me.
Yeah, I forget. I know you. I thought you got another PB since the 24. Okay.
No, unfortunately not. But Andy's been super good. You know, he's been overplaying his PB for so long. So
yeah, I mean, when he had the 25, even the low 25, it was just every run he did, he was on 124 pace and just kept throwing it. So he definitely had that honorary 124 for quite some time. Now he's got I mean, he crushed it too. 124.37. Like that's not a squeaker. That is hitting it out of the park. Yeah, Blaine making a good point. Andy did have a little bit more trouble on that overworld than V0oid did. So even with that chomps, the relative lead still maintained here. But GT is going to determine a lot, and then it's really going to come down to Aga and Ganon.
For sure, this is going to be really close going into the last segment. Oh, Andy missing the arrow and taking the bop from the roller. Interesting.
Why is he using an arrow here?
I have no idea why he's using arrows. He's magic.
I wasn't even looking, and then you said arrow. I'm like, arrow? What fucking arrow?
Yeah,
like,
he had enough magic to use 3 canes of Samaria there, which is what he needed. So I don't know why he used arrows.
Yeah, Vortex pointing out he got hit by... I mean, maybe he got hit by Anfrey and wasn't entirely sure exactly how much he needed. But again, like, with his random knowledge, like, I autopilot a lot of stuff, right? I'm just like, do exactly this, and then you'll be fine. And then it's like, when something goes wrong, I don't really know. But Andy's in so many bizarre situations, I expect him to be a little bit more up on, like, okay, this is exactly how much damage I can need. Oh, that is really unfortunate from Andy.
Yeah, that camera scroll back up top is so slow.
Oh, how do you not get hit there?
And
then use the D-boost from the beetle. What is happening?
It was like, this beetle can come chill with me through laser skip.
Yeah, I mean... I think the surprise of the match is every segment we thought Andy was going to, make up some time here. I think V0oid has used that opportunity to increase the lead and make us look stupid, so...
V0oid missing the double spin and gets bopped.
Yeah.
Be okay, though. Nice.
Yeah, so at this point, V0oid is ahead by an entire Trinex fight, which is a good chunk of time. Yeah, I think V0oid is ahead by 20 seconds. This fight is longer than 20 seconds. So even with, I mean, we're talking about all the RNG at the end of the game. Again, the player behind can always get worse RNG. But I think Andy is going to need to claw back at least 10 to 15 seconds in GT. So. I mean, and for that to happen, he's going to need V0oid to make some mistakes. I assume at this point, V0oid's got a low 7 GT gold at least.
Yeah.
So it's pretty easy to lose 10 to 15 seconds in here. So I wouldn't be surprised if V0oid loses that much time in GT, and Andy catches up a little bit. But I think it's going to require a couple mistakes from V0oid plus favorable RNG on the Andy side for him to take this.
Yeah, it looks like V0oid's got a 710 GT gold, so that's very, very good.
Better than mine.
GT
Better than my NMG
great.
one. I've got a 704 and 80, but the timing's slightly different there. They're pretty close to comparable though overall.
Kefka's tower is gonna be lit.
How you get banned, Saban? Alright, I'll use. Andy with his sword out, losing the frame. Again, actually it's more than that, it's because of lag, but shameful. I didn't quite see V0oid's entry time, I don't... well, I guess we could just look at the So 16:38 Turtle Rock.
23 seconds behind.
20. Okay, we'll just go with that. So yeah, I mean 23 per second. Again, that's kind of in the range of what the last two bosses can kind of do on variants without too much effort. I mean, just even Agatu, you know, just a hard fight. You know, just even being able to get a 3 or even a 4 cycle consistent in that is very difficult. Regardless of RNG, there's a little RNG on Ganon, but yeah, for Andy to have a shot, he's got to make up, you know, probably at least 10 seconds here, and then a little bit favorable RNG. Although he can make up all of it here. Like I said, 15 seconds is not a lot of time to miss on GT. And I think one of the things I said early on, where I think when Void makes a mistake, he's much more likely to lose more time than when Andy makes a mistake. Andy's going to be a little more comfortable recovering from anything. Like we've seen, I think the only mistakes we've seen from Andy, he had the hammer jump thing, kind of like the classic mistakes that are just going to lose you a chunk of time no matter what. Void lost a lot of time just in one room from just kind of a knowledge error, honestly, realizing he didn't need to bother resetting up Spooky because he had already blown it. So
we're going for Mike arrows as well. Very nice room. I think Andy may go for Mike arrows too.
He could skip all the arrows if he wanted to at 26.
Oh yeah. I guess I was. Oh, he's still. Yeah, okay. He's still gonna go for those arrows. Okay, so he wants the 30, so he's just gonna skip this 10 chest after the big key.
Yeah, assuming his ice armor goes fine, which it generally will. But you know, everyone messes this up every once in a while, and Andy's had a little bit of a shaky run, so.
Yeah, sitting pretty at 12, skipping this chest, so looks like that's what he's gonna do. Void getting through mimics. Such hard rooms, both of them.
Void doing left side for the GT spike room. Yeah, any room with a mimic in it is automatically a top 10 hardest room in the game. Void taking a fall from Ganon Ball Z, allowing Andy to claw back in. Yeah, this is a really tight finish.
See what kind of RNG Void gets in the gauntlet.
Ooh, but Andy taking some damage on the way down. Damage isn't a big deal, it's just losing the time from the dash. Gauntlet is also another place where I expect Andy to save a little time. There's just so much RNG in this. Just knowing what to do. Void having a very good G3 though. Going with the arrow strat in G4, nice safe strat. And then G5 is pretty straightforward usually. But definitely did struggle a little bit in G2.
Yeah.
Okay, 2055 entry for Void on Lamo. Yeah, looks like it's still right around that 20-second range.
Andy having really good RNG in gauntlet rooms so far.
Going to be right under 19 seconds, if not 20. Yeah, real close.
But yeah, Andy's made up like, I don't know, like 4 seconds in GT so far.
Yeah, I mean, Andy's had a really nice GT. It's just the Void also really hasn't made any, except for Ganon Ball, really hasn't made any mistakes. In fact, I think in the majority of the dungeon, that was a big enough time loss that he might have even saved time on Andy in the rest of the dungeon.
Nice, getting the lamp dash there. Oh, Andy getting foos dud. Only once though.
Oh, that's not quite getting foos dud.
Well, usually when you get hit there, it follows by at least another hit or two. So
yeah, getting hit there is just really annoying. It just turns into just a mess. Yeah, alright, so Void's kind of entering the the place where it can all kind of go wrong. I mean, a Moldorm fall will put this neck and neck.
Andy's probably going to hover Moldorm, so he may save time here if he gets it first try. But
yeah,
very
Void going with the hook shot. It's definitely become a popular strat recently. Yeah,
Yep.
Andy not only going for the hover, also skipping the magic. So I think this makes sense. I mean, if he misses Torch Push or something, it's just game over, right? He knows he needs to have a very good fight. And Andy gets the hover.
Nice.
Okay, so 56 entry for Void. Andy's going to be 13 seconds behind, something like that. We say 56.
Void getting a triple.
Looks like 12-second difference. So that's 4 warps.
No! Missed the first
zero. Not getting anything. Oh, this is a very good pattern. Oh, for both of them.
Oh no, he misses all 3 again! No!
And look at this pattern! What the hell is this? Oh my god.
Oh man.
He's the luckiest boy in the
We
planet.
definitely make up some time here.
Yeah, look at this.
Oh, for sure. This is huge.
I mean, if that was a ball and not a blue ball, that probably would have been a double for Andy. Like, that was...
Oh man, yeah.
Just like both of them, like all 3 Agas are just in a nice little neat and tidy row. Like,
Yeah, the more hover the Aga too.
there's like a 52 crash and a 56 crash. This is like 2 warp difference.
Yeah, here we go, gamers.
Andy wins because of warps, I swear to God. Kelsey saying that Andy got a sub 7 GT, which is incredibly impressive.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Shot like it.
Oh, Void takes the trident.
Takes
Oh, he doesn't get the 1-1 either.
1-1. If Andy gets the 1-1, this is Andy's gonna need a lot more warps for Void to catch back up. Then. Oh, and Void dies.
Oh.
No. Oh god. Does anyone know where I can buy plot armor? Is it just at the store, or? Yeah, that is incredibly... Void led this match...
Almost the entire way.
Literally the entire time. At no point was Andy ahead until literally right now. This reminds me of the Andy Olase match that opened the AD tournament last year, where that one was a lot more back and forth the entire run. And then Olase actually pulled ahead because of RNG and then missed the 1-1. And then Andy was able to take it.
Void getting all the warps.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, there's not much Void can do. I mean, Andy would have to have a fall here.
Yeah,
Technically, a little bit there by walking under that bat on the bottom there. But, I mean, Andy can even take a bad hit here and still be fine as long as it doesn't hit him off. But I definitely don't expect anything like that from Andy. Doing torch lamp. I didn't see. Maybe he missed a fire rod shot. I know he skipped the magic.
Yeah, I know. I think he might have just been playing a little safe toward the end there, just in case.
Yeah, I don't know if he was watching or anything.
Yeah, GG for Andy. Firing back with that that crazy GT finish. Oh,
okay. And Void falling.
Andy's
apparently,
buffering and we're seeing him kill Ganon again.
Yeah, I saw a message from Kelsey in chat. Apparently there was a power surge.
Oh no! Right at the bridge?
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude, it's the worst time ever.
We're gonna need a ruling on this. I mean, it's fine.
No,
like, we saw the Ganon kill. I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but yeah, Void taking a Ganon death and a fall.
Oh man, this is the Ganon Infinite.
Well, typically when you die on Ganon, his bats will change too, so that kind of hits you out of nowhere. It does look like Andy finished the race at...
Did he put in a dot done?
Yeah, Andy finished first with 127.26, and looks like Void forfeited.
Yeah, not surprising.
That sucks so bad, because Void was just... His run was so good the entire time. what a wild finish for sure.
Yeah, finish. I didn't even really see what the time was going to be. It's ends up being a 1:27:27. I thought they were a little bit faster paced than that.
Yeah,
I guess
Andy said 1:26:05, but for some reason, I don't know.
Oh, because he didn't dot done into 1:26:05. Okay,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Super heartbreaking for Void for sure. Not sure if they're coming in for an interview. I would only assume Andy might be coming in, but maybe with internet issues, I'm not sure at the moment.
Yeah, Void said that he's a little upset about choking the run. So we'll see if he comes in. Andy's depending on if his internet is back up. Yeah, apparently Boyne got up. He's going to come in and double check this.
Yeah,
we did see the final spin on Ganon, right? And then that's
he was dead, for sure.
Yeah,
we didn't see the bridge form, but yeah, he was in his dying animation for sure. While Andy was waiting for the bridge to form.
Yeah, Wayne's coming in to review it.
But it's kind of funny how we were talking earlier. You know, no matter what happens to Andy or some of the bad stuff, he just always seems to crawl back and try to lose his least amount of time as he can with some of his strats. So
yeah, like I said, heartbreaking to see Void have the lead wire to wire. Honestly, even before the death, the 1 and 2 put Andy in the lead. Although Andy did have a bunch of warps, we don't know what Void's would have been on that situation.
Yeah, for sure.
And then, phase 4 is not 100% straightforward. Hitting Andy was doing a good job hitting his. He did end up going to the lamp there. Okay, and we are confirming that we are giving Andy the win here since we got the sword up animation. So we are making that official. I think we are now joined by Andy.
Hello.
Hey, Lou, how are you? And we are also joined by Void.
I'm great, I guess.
How's your internet?
Internet flickered like right as I sword upped on Ganon. I was like, oh my god, like for
What
real,
timing?
come on.
Yeah, I talked to Boyne, but since you had sword up at that point, we're not going to be that much of rule jerks. If you didn't walk across the bridge, you could have fell.
God. But yeah, like that was a really, really good run from Void.
Yeah.
I I played pretty much sloppy ever since that stupid crab got in my way. Right after the pickle, trying to fake flipper to Hera, I was like, dude, this run has been absolute trash ever since that happened.
All my recent runs, so.
But
Go on,
yeah, it was just slop. And Void was actually, I was either keeping pace with Void or losing a couple of seconds pretty much every split. And then I didn't
have the restream open because it makes me nervous watching the race on the restream. But I didn't know that I was ahead of you for most of it.
Yeah. So when I went to fake flipper post desert, I got the dash off of the wall, so I hit the pickle, and then the crab just sprinted across the top of the ledge to the right and hit me. Oh, so nice. I had 2 hearts going for the fake flipper. And ended up doing it from the screen to the right. But yeah, I messed up pod bomb jump twice.
Oh shit! Okay.
and so that's
Yeah,
where I
what
lost
happened-
most of my time.
What happened on the second one? Because you just stood there.
I think I didn't place the bomb. I think
You did not.
like
You just walked off.
I didn't place the bomb, but at that point, like when I was going to, I thought it was too late, so I figured I would just walk off and save as much time as I could.
Yeah. Okay.
I couldn't tell if it was going to be in time or not. And yeah, there was just little bits of slop everywhere. And then I I looked over 2 different times while I was in Mire and saw you pick up the block in the basement. I was like, Lloyd, what's happening? No.
Well, my dash input got eaten the first time around, and I was like, I wonder if I can still get spooky glitch if I erase the block and just redo it. And apparently I can't. So yeah, I lost. Yeah. I lost a good old 40 seconds in Mire, and I was like, well, if I'm still ahead after this, then I'm going to be really surprised. As it turns out, I was.
You were then, 25 seconds ahead after that.
Dude, man.
And then Turrock was... At some point, Fricker was like, Andy missed the arrow. I'm like, what arrow? I look over, you're shooting arrows at the switch. I'm like, what is happening?
I got 0 drops from the first Poke Key, and then the second Poke Key dropped the magic a tile and a half below the key door. And so I couldn't get it, and I was like, alright, well, as long as I don't get hit, everything's fine. And then dashing out of the Poke Room post Big Key, I hit the Anti-Fairy, so I lost magic and a heart. So I'm like, well, I don't have enough magic now, or sword beams. So I was like, alright, I guess I'm going to hope for an arrow drop on Poke 2, or a heart drop on Poke 2, which I got, but the stupid shooter hit me the same time I got the heart. So I was like, well, that didn't work either, so I had to use arrows in Crystal Roller, because I probably could have used Boomerang, but I missed the first arrow and then took roller damage. It was a blow up.
Yeah, but I mean, Void led this wire to wire. And you took the lead because Void got the 1-2, and unfortunately had the death. And then Void, literally all of us have had the Ganon Infinite, so you are in good company there.
Yeah,
it's just the bottom right RNG is so annoying when the Trident is not in the right position and he grabs it almost immediately. It's so hard to recover, and I don't know how.
Yeah, there's a lot of details. Ganon's one of those fights that you don't know how to do it, and then you kind of learn it, and you know how to do triples and everything. And then even when you get to that point where it's oh, this is straightforward, there are so many little details in it for these oddball things, avoiding a south Ganon, or even if you're area forcing a south Ganon on purpose, that kind of stuff, just little tiny things that you can do, throwing cave spins and all that kind of stuff. So there is Ganon at some point feels like a free fight, and then there's still honestly a mountain of knowledge to have on top of it. So
yeah, that's the thing.
This not being your main game, it's not surprising.
Yeah, that too. But after I missed the 1+1, I it was downhill towards Tilt City. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Andy did take the lead on that, but it was close enough that Andy didn't have that great of warps. So if you had good warps, you could have retaken it.
Yeah, I had 15 warps or something like that. I was like, dude, if Void hadn't died, I'm probably, even with the 659 GT, I think I was a second and a half or something behind after Aga 2.
Yeah, and it's funny because on the refight, I got that's probably how many warps I got too. So I was like,
yeah.
Damn.
So I was like, man, if Void hadn't died, I'd be cursing Ganon's name because he's just not stopping.
I mean, you had I think the easiest Aga 2 patterns I've ever seen for figuring out where to stand.
Oh god, they were sweet. And then he
got the blue ball.
He owned me with the blue ball. I had the freest double triple of all time.
Damn.
Your plot armor came up once or twice during that fight. I'm gonna Jesus Christ, this fight. Gee, I wonder where he's gonna stand.
Yeah, it wasn't even. I was more shocked. Is this really happening? They're making a line.
I mean, Void got a triple too, and then you missed one.
I got a triple on phase 1, and then the next 2 phases, I got fucking owned, and then I was able to get a triple on phase 4, which salvaged that fight. Because otherwise, I was gonna be so pissed. It's my GT was decent aside from that fight.
Honestly, I think because I did the 1-up, your match of 1-up where you died on Vidi, it's the same thing. Your run, wire to wire, was almost perfect. Except for Spooky and then Ganon.
Yeah, pretty much.
I honestly can't think of any other mistake.
Yeah, it was a really, really good run.
It was I mean I'm again, I think we said this last time, but obviously you have all the experience in Donkey Kong. It's just amazing to see you come in and do so well. in another game you're less familiar with, and just like absolutely, you had a 459 escape or 549.
Dude, I even typed in the ratio like, dude, slow down, come on.
Yeah. And then I replied to Andy. I was like, "Well, this is my Sankard buffer because I was pretty sure Andy was gonna skip Sankard." And I was like, "Oh, that's a nice 549 right there, sir."
By the way,
yeah.
I just want to comment. I really like your shirt, and we're wearing the same shirt today. So,
although,
can I see your right arm? Does it say runner on it? I don't.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't. Oh, it's
no.
weird.
It's too bad that yours doesn't have like a face of Michael Jordan.
It's just. I can go get my jersey.
But yeah, pretty much like the only not terrible thing about my run was the Ganon's Tower. And at that point, I was like, I need to save time on Void, so like I skipped Magic, pre-Moldorm 2. I basically did everything in my power to try and catch up.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised it was a 659 because there's a couple rooms in the spike room. I guess that was the only real mistake I saw.
Yeah, the spike room was the only rough one. Then I got bad RNG in the fire snake room, which it happens.
But I guess with the hover and then the two, it wasn't even a 2 cycle; it was a 3 cycle. So I know it was a good GT. I was surprised it was a 650.
The hover's powerful, man.
It's not that bad.
When the pyramid screen came up, I like looked at my timer and I was like, that says 6:45. No way.
You do landing, right? Not back crash.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's really good.
I'm
surprised it actually ended up being a 6059. So yeah, the rest of it you crushed, obviously.
Yeah. And I nailed the recently learned God Mike Arrow strat. So that was nice. I was really worried about messing that up.
You could have you had enough arrows, you could have skipped it. I mean, you had exactly enough, but that's.
And I wouldn't have had arrows for Gauntlet, and who wants that?
It's true.
I ended up getting the 10 drop from the Mimic, but don't worry about that.
Of course.
Just
put it all in your path. It's fine. Just roll out the red carpet for Andy.
I had what, 24 arrows going into the back of pod, I think. It was crazy. I don't think I've ever had that many arrows before.
Yeah, so anyways, Void, I'm looking up who's Void's going to be playing next.
Void's going to be playing Lynxion, and Andy is going to be playing Aerie.
Yeah, so this was not to crush the competitive integrity, but I would have been happily okay with losing this, because then I would have gotten to put my good friend Lanx in the Instead, I get to leave that to Void. So
I thought you were going to say you were
funny because it was taking you forever to dot down, and I remembered you telling me last week that you would be okay with going to losers to put Lynxion in the dumpster. I was like, is he throwing, or is he waiting for me to dot down first? What's going on?
He did his throwing in pod. After that, he stopped.
God. But yeah, me and Aerie should be a good race. As long as I don't play like this again.
Yeah.
This is my first 126 since I started prepping for the tournament.
God, I hate you.
Yeah, we got a 125-20 in warm up today. It's been pretty much just that. But yeah, man, I'm so bummed that run ended the way it did, Void.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, heartbreaking. I mean, this game is, you obviously have all the talent and skill in the world, but this game can just do this to you. So, I mean, your progress has been amazing. You've joined the vaunted list of people who have cut my time, which is growing to a substantial number at this point.
Dude, the duck hunt has been successful.
Yes, it has.
Honestly, the thing I'm probably the most upset about this run was beefing up the cold stare fight, because I think that was gonna be a 6-12 ice balance. I was gonna get a fat gold, and I fucked up the fucking poke dash strat, and we were talking about the poke dash strat in the race chat before the race started, and I was like, oh no, the jinx, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's really what I noticed from this match and last match and some of your runs, it seems like the boss fights are the thing that are tending to, because all the room, I mean, the spooky thing today was just a knowledge hole.
Yeah.
But besides that, it's generally the boss, and the boss fights are just so much variance on this, because it's you either do it 100% fine or you die.
Yeah.
It's like he runs over. Like there's no, and it's one of the frustrating things about this game, I think. And it's not just you, I promise. Happens to any. So like for you to have like this level of consistency everywhere else, and like if you kept pushing, you can get a 24 easily at this point, honestly.
Yeah, I was surprised by how good this run was, honestly. And like, yeah, got 2 blue balls, and I was able to like save time in pod and carry that time save like all through Dark World until, you know, that blunder and Meyer. But yeah, like 124, I probably could do it, yeah, before I decide to rage quit this game.
Yeah, I'll be right there. But we can jump off the cliff together.
Hell yeah!
But yeah, Fricker, do you have anything to ask? I know I suck up all the air in these things.
No, it's totally fine. Looking forward to the next matches for both Andy and Void, and it was a very fun race to watch. And yeah, I look forward to seeing Void 124 soon.
Hell yeah!
Yeah,
But yeah,
that's it.
thanks for doing this commentary and the restream, guys.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, Andy, you have any last comments then before we head out?
I'll be in losers with you in one more round, Void. Don't worry.
I thought you meant me.
No comments for you. I'm sure you were perfectly respectable on commentary tonight.
I was actually more nice than mean to you, I think, the entire time, which is I had to be purposely mean a couple times.
Gross.
Oh, it was mostly Void just took up all because we were just gushing over Void, honestly.
Yeah,
he was crushing it again.
That's what I like to hear.
So I always have to be nicer to the person behind because I don't want to be mean to them or something.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
He's losing because he sucks. Like that's not. You can't do that.
But yeah, GG's Void.
Yeah, nice run, dude.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch the. Maybe I'll even sign up for commentary for the Lanks run because that'll be.
Ooh, we're all gonna have to elbow in on that one.
Yeah. His speed is close to mine, right?
Yeah, he's got like a 125-20.
Yeah, something like that.
That should be another good race.
He has the same thing in his PB as mine, where he just gets wrecked by the guard in Aga Tower and he's got like 20 seconds there. So,
yeah, impossible dungeon, honestly.
Yep, dude, I like the guard party in the maze room where like I just saw all 3 of the guards and their swords like in my little light cone as I'm starting up a dash. And I'm like praying that I just get the dash through. But yeah, GG's. Thanks for comms, guys.
Yeah, no problem. All right, I think that's gonna do it for us. Then we'll throw it back to ZSR.
Yeah, just been waiting for my cue to let y'all know what we've got coming up tomorrow, which is plenty. Starting at 9 a.m. Eastern, we have the Ocarina of Time Randomizer Standard Weekly EU race, the European convenient time. It is at 1 p.m. UTC, 9 a.m. Eastern. Coming up right after that, on another channel, because obviously they don't fit right together, is at 10 a.m. we have a Zelda 2 Max Randomizer tournament match. We've got Losers Bracket Round 3 between Elendar and Top Life. Coming up at 1 p.m. tomorrow, we have the Ocarina of Time Championship Series Season 3 Grand Finals. We have Juke versus Exodus. That is going to be hype. At 2 p.m. Eastern, we have the Minish Cap Randomizer Weekly Race. And then, starting at 5 p.m., I hope all of y'all come back here to Zelda Speedruns, the main channel, because we'll be hosting a triple feature of A Link to the Past NMG. We have 3 races in a row. At 5 p.m., we have Losers Bracket Round 6, SNES Chalmers versus Scoople. I probably mispronounced both of those, apologies. Followed at 7 o'clock by Losers Bracket Round 7, Gritter versus Chex Human, and ending the night out at 9 p.m. with the Winners Bracket quarterfinals. We have Fricker here versus Bwain. That is gonna be a lot of NMG tomorrow, and hopefully y'all will be back here to join us for it. Any final thoughts for tonight?
I'm sorry about your butt, Fricker.
Yeah.
I've been on the receiving end on that one.
Well, we still have the Zelda 2 Randomizer weekly race going on over at Zelda Speedruns 2, so we're gonna throw the raid over that away. And like I said, hopefully we will see y'all here again tomorrow. We've got races starting at 9 a.m., and if you're wanting to see the NMG triple feature, we've got that starting at 5 p.m. Eastern. Have a lovely night.